Welcome everyone to the 25th exhibition of Stupid People, and boy do I have a lot of subjects for us to go through today. Some will take time, some won't. First thing we're going to address though is a video. I put out a video not so long ago called The Doxing of Charlie Gold. I used Charlie Gold to make a very obvious point. Whether I like Charlie Gold's channel or not is an irrelevant factor. It is the fact about doxing. And because it happened and I was DM'd something on Kiwi Farms, I made my point very clear. But not everyone got the point. Hence the video you see on the screen here, done by Fatty Gold. Fatty Gold has called me a hypocrite, because apparently I didn't know Kiwi Farms put out the information as well on Amy's life journey, Amberlyn Reid and other, as I believe they call them, death fats. I should now state, at no point did I even know that, because I was never looking for doxes. When I did my research for my Content Constable videos, and I have to credit Kiwi Farms immensely for it, I never went near anything that would pertain or contain a dox, because I don't care for it. And then of course references to the fact about me going to the gym, which must mean I am also a whale. Right. Duly noted. I'll go cry into a tub of Ben & Jerry's? Wait, is Ben & Jerry's any good? Doesn't matter. You tried, you got some likes, plenty of comments. Interaction's great, and I'm happy you got it even if it was under a false pretense that because I knew of one dox, I should know about all the others. I don't care about people's doxes. I care when they are doxed. And I didn't know about any of the others. Okay, let's move on. Because I don't care enough about this, and I think Alex addressed it well enough in his very long Shani video. Next. So last week, a world-renowned boomer, according to some dumb American that's a YouTuber, got suspended from Twitter. Why did he get suspended from Twitter? This is why he got suspended from Twitter. As you can see, this was in fact hateful conduct. He simply tweeted, "Okay dude," and that was enough to set it over the edge. Now I did try looking into it to see if it was actually directed at somebody, but I can't find the original tweet far enough back to be able to confirm it. He got suspended for that though, which I find to be hilarious. The funniest part for me was that there was a Twitter user called Pronoun Enforcer that put out this lol misogynist down pronouns enforced, with reference to the fact that they were the ones that filed a report on Zuby, along with many other people in the past. I have archived it, but I'm not linking their Twitter. By all means, go there if you wish to look at it. Well, not long later, Twitter obviously freed Zuby from their penitentiary, and he's on probation doing community service, dancing and selling t-shirts that say, "Okay, dude." Twitter, seriously. That was enough to get you to act? Oh, the cringe. Next. I was next going to cover a video on a transvestite who was dancing for a child somewhat suggestively, the video you see on the screen. But in truth, I don't have the full context of the situation. All I have is an adult dressed very scantily dancing for a child and giving the child something. I have nothing else to go on, therefore I cannot offer reasonable comment without enough information. If anyone does have it, please link it. I would greatly appreciate it. Instead we're going to go to... right. So, the House on Friday in America, Congress, kind of passed something a bit weird. They've approved a bill that bans tobacco-flavoured products. The bill passed by 213 to 195. It was sponsored by Energy and Commerce Committee Chairman Frank Pallone Jr. and Representative Donna Shalala, a Health and Human Services Secretary under former President Clinton. The intention is to curb the rise of youth vaping rates by banning non-tobacco flavours such as mint and mango, that the public health experts believe lure children into smoking. This would also ban menthol cigarettes, which are disproportionately used by African Americans after years of targeted marketing by tobacco companies. Now, while most Democrats support the measure, some of the Congressional Black Caucus voted against the bill because they believe it could give police a way to target African Americans. Do you see the progression of reductio ad absurdum occurring here? First of all, we'll ban flavour because in it, and some will vote against the grain because, but but the po-po, yo. They be bad. Swag. Representative Yvette Clark said that the legislation has dire unintended consequences for African Americans. Law enforcement would have an additional reason to stop and frisk menthol tobacco users because menthol would be considered illegal under this ban. I'll be honest with you, if someone smokes near me, I would rather it was menthol than regular tobacco, because at least then it smells marginally more minty fresh. The breath of a smoker is horrific at the best of time. No offence to anyone in my audience that does smoke and in fact takes precautions so that the breath doesn't smell as bad. Can't criticise everyone, it's just the ones in my town that are pretty bad for it. It's almost as bad as their BO. I'm half tempted to walk around with deodorant spray and just hit all of them with Axe Body and Lynx and just then write the words virgin on them. This bill is a stupid idea. Me and Trups have discussed this before when it comes to vaping. It is an absolutely stupid idea. Some argue it under the pretense of protecting one's health. Right. Because that's the real reason, right? Gotcha. I don't somehow believe you. I can't imagine why. I'm sure some of you in my audience, and perhaps if I premiere this in the premiere chat, will be able to help me understand this. Anyway, next we're going to go to Stephen Rosenberg on Twitter. Who is Steve Rosenberg? He is somebody that works for the BBC, as we know this from his Twitter handle. He was busy working in Moscow, where I'm sure he was having an absolute blast, and got a bit peckish. Because he got peckish, he decided to go and get some chocolate. To do this, he went to a local store called chocolatestudio.com. Hyphen in the middle of chocolate and studio, by all means go check them out. When he went inside, he noticed the chocolate looked a bit lethal. A tad explosive, if you will. And it alarmed him so much that he lost his appetite and left. Which maybe was a benefit. Maybe it was a good thing. Maybe he needed to get beach body ready. Maybe he just needed to lose a couple extra pounds for his meat and bread dinner. With a side of vodka. Vodka. What was it that he saw that was so harrowing and so disturbing that he couldn't purchase it? And I should now say, I kinda want some, because it looks amazing. Stephen Rosenberg saw this. Not going to lie, I want all of that. I'm not even kidding. I would annihilate that bullet. It'd probably be the first one that didn't do its job properly when fired. And the grenade? If that thing does blow up, I hope inside is sprinkles. I really do. Upon seeing something that looks amazing and could well be delicious, I mean, if you'd actually tasted it and said, it's a bit too bitter for white chocolate, you would have had a leg to stand on. But instead you saw something and thought, this just makes me think of violence and not of something yummy that looks clever. Honestly, I might set a Streamlabs goal just to get some, because I really like chocolate. It's shredding season, everyone! Get me chocolate. That'll totally help. Anyway, Stephen Rosenberg, perhaps I can think of a piece of chocolate more akin to your own delicate tendencies. It's a snowflake. That's not a dead joke now, is it? Next. So now I want to talk about Leila LaFay. Leila LaFay is a woman who threatened shop staff with a claw hammer and was then spared a jail term. This would surely be a Judge Moist injustice, but again, I have a topic for tomorrow. It's worth it. It's amusing. Tells me everything I need to know about Scotland. Now, she admitted to brandishing this particular item at the shop manager Enoch Aditeo after entering a budgeon store in Brighton in a bid to acquire wine freely on the 6th of November last year. Now, she was initially sentenced to 6 months in prison, but it was reversed when Judge Stephen Mooney heard that she did not have a certified evidence of her gender reassignment and would have to be sent to a male-only jail. What makes this really interesting is that the Metro who published the article titled it Transgender Shoplifter Spared Jail When There Is No Way to Confirm Her Gender. Well, actually there is. Just saying. And they say that the only way LaFay could prove her new gender would be an undignified examination, forgetting here what happens the moment you walk into a prison. Are you not stripped searched anyway? Is that not undignified? When you're told to bend, squat and cough? Which court staff, apparently with this examination, were not prepared to do. Which of course means totally someone shouldn't serve a prison term, cause that. And of course, with this pandemic now sweeping the entire globe that has affected so few people, I'm not flipping it off, but seriously, honestly, seriously, they couldn't spring for a doctor or a paramedic. On a more serious tone, of course, upon entering prison, the Fae would have a few issues, most notably being transgender female in a male prison. And we can't stick someone in solitary confinement now, can we? Since this kerfuffle, the sentence has been changed from 6 months incarceration to a suspended 6-month sentence, with 30 rehabilitation sessions after admitting to other related charges. This is starting to feel more and more like a Judge Moist video, really, isn't it? But it's not. Judge Mooney then went on to make a bunch of excuses about this case and used diversity as one of the scapegoats. Well done, Judge Stephen Mooney. You are a freaking genius. Next. Oh, and by the way, the next one's the final subject of the day. Yesterday on Twitter, I was alerted to another one of those national or international days we must all gather around, show solidarity, support, and of course, endorse. This came courtesy of World Obesity Day, which was trending on the UK hashtag Twitter thingamajiggy anyway. Well, they decided a World Obesity Day Twitter handle to put out something quite interesting, an image, this image. Yes, the roots of obesity run deep. Healthcare access, life events, mental health, food, sleep, genetic risk, biology, and stigma, all related to obesity, and together we can create a healthier future. We can deal with this. We can make change, yo, like a politician, and it will totally benefit everyone. In truth, it was not the image that got my attention, but the tweet itself. And the tweet itself reads, "People with obesity are constantly shamed and blamed for their disease." We'll get to that in a moment. This is because many don't understand that obesity is a chronic disease and see it as a simple lack of willpower and laziness. Right, let's break this down. Obesity on its own is not a disease. There are some diseases and conditions that can lead to obesity, but for the most part, it is entirely laziness and a lack of willpower and or conviction. Or, for some, it's not a disease at all, you heretical body shamers. For some, it is a personal choice. Remember we spoke about the feeders last week and the lady a few weeks ago who wanted to get up to her dream weight of 600 pounds? Yeah, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be celebrating this, not trying to make all obese people out to be a victim. This is disgusting. In fact, if I was a little less lazy, I would have flagged this as hate speech. If OK Dude can get it done, so can this. Glorious. Anyway, as with all the subjects I covered today, I'm very much interested to know what you think the stupidest was. Is it Fatty Gold? Is it Twitter for shutting down Zuby? Is it Steven Rosenberg and the chocolate? Is it the transgender woman who got spared jail? Or is it possibly the judge involved in that? Or is it World Obesity Day? Please do let me know in the comments down below. Of course, I should include the video we touched upon very briefly, but I need more context first. I shall be streaming later on today on Twitch, and there's a new video on Moisky Live. If I don't see you on Twitch later today, I hope you'll have a fantastic Thursday. And thank you all for listening.